I am 73 years old, and there is something about regret nobody warned me about. I always thought regret would be loud, obvious, something you would see coming. It is not. Regret is quiet. It waits. When I was younger, I believed the same thing most people believe, that regret comes from big mistakes, bad decisions, wrong turns. So I tried to avoid those. I played it safe, stayed responsible, chose the sensible option more often than not. And for a long time, I thought that meant I was doing life correctly. The truth did not show up all at once. It showed up slowly, in moments that did not seem important at the time. A conversation I rushed because I was tired. A phone call I did not return because I told myself I would do it tomorrow. An idea I dismissed because it felt impractical. None of those felt like mistakes. They felt harmless. That is how regret sneaks past you. In my early 50s, after my heart failed me once, I started noticing something strange. The things that bothered me were not the failures. I did not think about the deals that fell apart or the projects that did not work. What came back to me were ordinary moments, moments I did not treat as important when they happened. I remember sitting alone one evening, years after my father died. Nothing special about the night, no anniversary, no reason for it to surface. And suddenly, I thought about all the Sundays I did not call him. Not because we were angry, not because we didn't care, just because life felt busy. At the time, it felt reasonable. There would be more Sundays. There were not. That's when something uncomfortable hit me. Regret is not about what you did wrong. It's about what you kept postponing until it disappeared. I had always told myself I would get to certain things when life slowed down. But life does not slow down. It replaces things. New responsibilities, new distractions, new reasons to wait. And waiting starts to feel like a habit. I had a friend, same age as me, who used to talk about writing a book. He talked about it for decades, always with excitement, always with plans. Every year he said the same thing. Next year when things settle. They never did. He died at 68.
The book stayed an idea. At his funeral, people talked about how reliable he was, how hardworking, how successful. Nobody mentioned the book. They did not even know about it. That is when I realized something most people do not want to hear. Regret does not come from living badly. It comes from living cautiously, from choosing comfort over curiosity, from choosing later over now. And it does not punish you immediately. It waits until you don't have options anymore. I do not regret the years I worked hard. I regret the years I told myself joy could wait. I regret treating relationships like they were permanent, as if people would always be available when I finally had time. I regret the version of myself that kept saying, "not yet," because not yet eventually turns into never. If you are listening to this and thinking about someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or something you've been quietly postponing, you already know what I'm talking about. Regret has a way of making itself recognizable. It shows up as a tight feeling in your chest when you remember something unfinished, a thought you push away because it makes you uncomfortable. Most people do not face it. They drown it out with busyness. But one day, the noise stops, and what's left is a list you never meant to write. I am not haunted by the risks I took. Those taught me who I was. I am haunted by the risks I avoided because they felt inconvenient, by the love I assumed did not need to be expressed, by the moments I assumed would repeat. They did not. Here's the part I wish someone had told me earlier. Regret does not ask for permission. And it does not care how good your reasons were at the time. It only asks one question, quietly, over and over. Why didn't you? I'm 73 now, and I can tell you this without drama. The things that matter do not wait patiently for you to be ready. They move on. People move on. Moments move on. Life moves on. And one day you look back, not at a single mistake, but at a pattern of waiting. There is nothing loud about that realization. No breakdown, no music, just a silence where something should have been. If this feels uncomfortable, that's okay. It's supposed to. Because regret does not start at the end of life. It starts the first time you choose later over honest. And it grows quietly until later is no longer an option. What is something you've been telling yourself you'll get to someday? I used to believe regret was something that came at the end of life. Now I know it starts much earlier. Usually the first time you say, "I'll do it later." Comment plus like trigger. Soft, non-motivational. If this stirred something you've been postponing, write it in the comments. Not for me, so you don't forget it again.